Hi, it's Kristen from Kristen Jones Coaching. And usually when I jump on, I am here to educate. I'm here to tell you some, interesting things about emotional eating. But I think it's time that I tell you why I do what I do and why I'm in the position of being somebody who coaches emotional eaters and coaches people on how to address and manage issues with food. I think so oftentimes we as coaches or those of us who are in the helping professions, we will talk about what we can do for people and the benefits that we can bring to people's lives by helping them um, overcome certain things, but we don't exactly always tell why we got to where we are and why we have the experience of doing that. So today, this is going to be the first of a two-part series in why I do what I do and how I got to this place. So I'm going to be really cognizant of the time because I want to keep this short, but I want to let you kind of behind the curtain and know a little bit more about me and about where I come from and why, again, why I do what I do. So I'm going to start off with a story. So I was 16 years old and I was at a family gathering at my own home. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. Had a pair of red sweatpants on, a white t-shirt, cut off sleeves. And I was sitting on the counter, a room full of relatives. Everybody's talking, lots of action going on. And I decide that I want to leave the room. So I jump off the counter. And my uncle, in a very loud voice, yells out, "Hey, Kristen, you better be careful because next time you jump off that counter, you're going to break the floor." And every conversation in the room stopped, and everybody turned, and everybody looked at me. And I just got this very nervous smile on my face, and I laughed, and I went, "Oh, yeah, you're probably right." And I walked out of the room, and I was devastated because I already felt like I didn't fit in. I felt like I was different. I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the way I felt. And now I had somebody who was supposed to love me basically proved to me that everything I thought about myself was absolutely true. And that one comment spiraled into an eating disorder that I have battled with for most of my life. Now, I have to be honest in saying that my issues with food started long before that, but to me, that was the trigger. That was the catapult that kind of sent me down a very dangerous rabbit hole of using very extreme means to lose weight or to not eat. And this proceeded for most of my early adult life. I was one of those people who wrote down absolutely every single thing that they wrote down, or excuse me, every single thing they ate. I would write down and I would calculate how many calories I thought it was. And I would try to stay within a certain range for each day. And if I didn't, I would completely beat myself up. And I used exercise as a way of being very extreme. I worked out all the time. If I didn't do 2 or 3 workouts in a day, I would be feeling lazy. I definitely used laxatives to a point that was not healthy. I also would do anything if I ate too much to rid my body of whatever food that I had consumed, whether it was coming out of my mouth or out the other end. And definitely did whatever I could do to get myself to feel better about me and about what I looked like and how I just interacted in the world. This went on for many, many years. I covered it up what I thought was pretty good. Most people did not know that all of these battles were going on inside of me, that I felt very, very poorly about myself. I was able to somehow be able to become a fitness instructor and get in front of people and, be able to lead people in this very healthy activity when in reality I was very, very unhealthy myself. And it wasn't until I was about in my mid 30s that I finally was able to admit that I actually had an eating disorder. I didn't know what it was, but I knew there was something wrong. And I then spent the next 4 or 5 years seeing various therapists trying to figure out what was going on with me and how I was going to make this stop and how I was going to get rid of this. And that went on for quite a few years. And again, but all the while trying to handle it on my own, as well as working with therapists. And I never really felt like I got far in a sense of what was I supposed to do? How was I supposed to change my behaviors that I was having? And I felt lost and I felt alone. And for the longest time, I thought that I was the only person who would eat at night by themselves and not let anybody see them eat. And pretend when I was in front of other people that I wouldn't eat, and that the reality was when I would get home, I would eat everything in my house. There was a long time where I never kept food in my house because I couldn't trust myself not to eat all of it. Now, I don't know, but I have a pretty good feeling that if you are a follower of mine and if you're either in my Facebook group or you're on my email list or you are anyone who's in my world, you probably have felt these things before and you probably can resonate with something that I have shared. And so I'm going to wrap this up, this first part of this series. I will come back next week and I'll have another, the second part of the story, which is what I did after I realized that I had an eating disorder, and then I started seeing therapists and I wasn't getting any place. And there was a very big turning point in my life, and I will share that with you and share with you what came out of that turning point in my life, and how I got to be where I am today, and being able to hopefully, what I want to share is hope that there is a way out of emotional eating and feeling out of control around food. So I'm going to end it here. And please know that next week's installment will be sharing what I did, what I discovered, and how my life has moved forward. And again, want to offer hope and inspiration and let anyone out there know who's struggling with this, that there is a way out. So I'm hoping that you will tune in to the next video, part 2, and that hopefully there will be some answers for you.